Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to What's up guys? Down in my office at home, kind of. It's about 1.5 feet of snow outside, so I couldn't get outside today to film a video, so I figured I'd take this time, go over my sort of office at home and talk about my gear, a little bit more about the giveaway, and just kind of fill you guys in on kind of the gear that I've been using lately and that kind of thing. So first order of business is the giveaway that I'm doing. So that's going on until about another week, I would say, for this guy right here, the Pluto Trigger. I know I talked about it in my last video. I didn't do like a super comprehensive review on it just because I was out, when you're out shooting, it's kind of hard to do like reviews on location like that. So I figured today I could take a little bit of this time to kind of go over this guy and explain a little bit more about what exactly this does. Alright, so that is the Pluto Trigger right here. So we're gonna unbox this. This is like driving me nuts here. There we go. So essentially what we got here is, so we've got the actual trigger itself, a laser pointer, a triggering mechanism for this guy, and then we've got a cable. Pop this open. You've got a charging cable, and then this is like a flash sync cable, so you can sync the unit with a flash. A hot shoe adapter, a little case to put everything in, a little quick start guide. All of this stuff aside, let's jump into the review. So you have an app on your phone. You basically have all sorts of different options. There's a shutter release option, so you can tap the button to take a photo, tap to focus and then take a photo. You can lock this and then it'll just keep going until you press the button to stop it. Bulb mode, which as you know, that's counting down, so you set an interval. You can go up here, set an interval, so say you want to do 1 minute 55 seconds, press that and it does all the work for you. Burst mode, so it takes a picture. I have it set for every 500 milliseconds. That could be useful for like sports photography or action photography. We've got HDR, which is kind of, it'll bracket your exposures for you, your mid exposure length, I guess. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but star trail, so it'll take X amount of shots. So yeah, it's got some other cool functions. So this is like a laser function. On the front right here, I don't know if you can see it, there's this little dot. And that basically essentially reads this guy, which is the laser. So you shine those to each other, and whenever this beam is broken, it'll take a picture and you can set the intensity with this little slider. It does have these cool like calculators at the bottom, so it calculates depth of field for you depending on your aperture. This will show you where the sun's position is relative to your location. You have your ND filter calculators for everything from 1 stop up into ND 100,000. You've got Starscape rules, so if you're doing nighttime photography, that's basically it in a nutshell. Alright, well I think essentially that's going to do it for the review of the Pluto Trigger. If you're looking for something like this, you probably already know kind of what they do. So between this video and my last week's video, you probably can get a good idea of what they do. Put a link to their website in the description below, so you can read more about it. But essentially, if you do want this one, all you have to do is comment below #Pluto Trigger and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And I'll be picking somebody next week for this guy. So make sure you do that, and now let's jump into the gear review. Well, to sort of kick this whole thing off, this is the bag that I've been using for the past like 4 years. It's a Low Pro 250 AW2. One thing I really didn't like about it, it's a great bag. It holds like a computer. I think it holds like it has a spot up here for some stuff. Throw a bunch of stuff in there. The only thing I didn't like about it, it's too small. It doesn't hold all the stuff that I have to bring with me now. I could put like a camera in here, maybe a lens, 1 or 2 lenses, and like some filters, and that was it. But now I've got so much stuff that I have to bring for the videos, and I sort of outgrew the bag. This is the new bag. This is made by Think Tank. So this one, you've got some compartments up here, which is where I keep cleaning cloths, stuff like that, pens and pencils and cables, that kind of thing. As you can see, a lot more space, kind of more laid out too, much easier to find things and just grab stuff. I don't know, not much, really not much to show in here. Definitely check them out if you're looking for something sturdy, big, and you know, not too bulky, because it's slim, but you wouldn't know that it could hold all this stuff. Sort of got everything laid out on the table now. Let's just get into it. Batteries are like a necessity. Flashlight. I keep a prism with me now. You can kind of get some cool like air duster. I would say this is my main landscape lens that I use for 90% of my landscape stuff. It's a 70-200 f4. Got a little rain cover. This is a Tascam DR10L. I have a strap, a camera strap. It kind of looks like a seat belt. It's called the Peak Design Slide. I use the Lee filter system. These are their rings. I have two, one for my 70-200 and one for my 16-35 adapter thing. This kind of is all like a kit. I think I have the box somewhere. This is like the case that I keep everything in. Can slide my filters in. Gaff tape. A memory card case, 12 cards, so pretty inexpensive lens as they go. This is a $100 50mm 1.8 STM. They make a 1.4 and 1.2. I tried the 1.4 and I didn't really think there was much difference. I thought this one was actually sharper than the 1.4. For $100, you can't really beat it. Polariser from Lee. It's like 250 bucks. I don't use it as much as I should. I don't think it's doing anything right now. I have both 6-stop, 10-stop ND filter from Lee. Say 90% of my long exposure stuff and landscape stuff in general is using these guys. Probably by far some of the best ones I've ever used. 0.9 graduated neutral density filter. Now, last but not least is the body I'm using. This is a older 6D. I do have the grip on this. It's a little bit bulkier than usual, but and it looks cool, so can't argue with that. That's better. Not really much else to say. I can't show you what I'm shooting with right now, which is the 80D with the 16-35 f4 L IS. That's probably my favorite wide angle lens that I've ever owned. It's sharp from f4 all the way up until like 22 or I think 24. If you're looking for a pretty inexpensive wide angle for full frame, I would definitely recommend the 16-35. All right, now is the fun part. I get to put it all back. One more thing before I forget. I had a couple people asking me about those gloves. They're made by Valere. I'm not sure how to say that. There's these little magnetic clasps like on the back here. These fingers are exposed for dialing things in on the camera and stuff. Super nice gloves. They're pretty warm. I'll put a link in the description for these ones as well. If you're looking for gloves for the winter time, definitely recommend those. I have some calendars that I put together this year for all my photos from last year. Kind of my favorites, I guess. I got about 10 of these left, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I might give a couple of them away in a future video. If you guys have any questions or comments about any of the stuff I talked about, or you want to discuss gear with me, I'm always happy to share my ideas with you guys, so just drop a comment below. If you do want to enter for the Pluto Trigger, just be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment below, hashtag Pluto Trigger, and that'll enter you guys to win that. Alright, you guys, that's pretty much going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week. Peace.